everyone, welcome back. I'm Katie, and today we are going to be doing the middle grade book tag. So this book tag has been out for I think 2 years now, but I never did it last year. I thought I did. I really don't think I didn't. So my friend Amanda over at The Curly Reader created this tag 2 years ago specifically for middle grade March, and so I'm doing it this year. Why not? All right, so I have my questions, and hopefully we'll be able to find my books fairly easily around here because all my middle grade books are on these shelves, so we should be good to go. I have looked at the questions, but hopefully I'll be able to find the books. I know one's probably in the other room, but that's okay. All right, the first question is, what is the last middle grade book you read? So, super easy because it's middle grade March. That's mostly all I'm reading. The last one, which I just finished this morning, was On the Edge of the Sea of Darkness. That's what it's called. Yeah, On the Edge of the Sea of Darkness by Andrew Peterson, and it's the first book in the Wing Feather saga. Absolutely loved it. I've heard so many good things about this series, and honestly, the reviews are just like, yeah, they're right. It's great. And I started the second book right after. I'm going to read them all in a row except for book 4 because that's not at my library yet. But I am enjoying it extremely a lot. Absolutely love it. Yeah, if you need a really great Christian middle grade series that is just clean and fun and action filled, then definitely pick this up for your kids or for yourself because I love them. Yeah, so that's the last book that I read. All right. Next question is, what is a middle grade book someone read to you as a child? I had to think about this one. That one, it was actually really tough for me because I thought my father may have read Journey to Juna by Kim V. Engelman to me. And I couldn't remember though. I couldn't remember if I read them by myself or if I was read to. And I have a feeling I was read to, but since I couldn't remember, I remembered that one of my favorite books was, I'm trying to remember the author's name. I can remember the author's name. Hank the Cowdog by John R. Erickson. Yeah, those books are that old. My mom used to read them to me when I was about 6 or so, and she used to do voices for the characters, and it was just so much fun. I absolutely love those. I used to brush her hair as she would like read the stories to me, and it was just like a fun time. And for the longest time, the character of Drover, he's a really sweet little white terrier dog in the book. For the longest time, we thought he was just like a puppy because he would like make excuses to not work, and like he would like grab his leg and say, "Oh, my leg." And so we thought he was like a puppy making excuses, and then come to find out in an audiobook that he's an old dog. We never knew that, but I loved my mom's voice better because she made it like a little hyper terrier voice, and it was just perfect. And so yeah, that's a book I'm going to choose because yeah, Hank the Cowdog was one of my and mom's favorite book growing up. All right, the next question is, what was your favorite middle grade book as a child? And I have so many favorites. Well, not a ton, but I do have a few. But one of my favorites that I keep going back to quite often is, it's up here. Knew that was going to happen. And it is this series, Mandy. Mandy by Lois Gladys Leopard. And I have this collection, which is volumes 21 through 25, and my dad actually gifted this collection to me when I was a lot younger. And this is like there's like over 30 books. This is a huge series, but the books are small, and I absolutely love this series so much. It's one of my absolute favorites. I honestly don't think I ever read through the entire series, so at some point either in my adulthood or to my future children, I will be reading this series because I absolutely love it. So yeah, if you like, they're like Nancy Drew, but a younger age group because the girl's about 12, and so we see her kind of in like almost like a early 1900s, late 1800s. So it's kind of historical fiction mystery, and I really love them. They're one of my favorite series. Definitely want to reread them all. So what is my favorite middle grade book as an adult? That was tough. But I think I'm going to say, it's not in here again. I don't know why I do that to myself. All right. So It's in my other room because I forgot to bring it back in here. But it's called Close to Famous by Joan Bauer. And this is my first Joan Bauer book, and she has become one of my absolute favorite authors. That's a question coming up in a second. But Close to Famous, I never thought I was a contemporary fan. But when you find a contemporary book that just is so good, I guess you could consider me a contemporary fan when you find a book like this. So this is Close to Famous, and it's about a girl who has dyslexia. And her mom are kind of on the run from her ex-boyfriend. And so they end up in this small town where she works at a diner, and she makes like really good food. And she ends up meeting this really cranky, old kind of starlet lady. I think she is like a Hollywood actress, but she's kind of older now. And so they make a deal, and so the lady ends up teaching her how to read better, and the girl ends up teaching her how to cook. And so it's really sweet and very, very cute. So absolutely love that book. It's one of my absolute favorites. Okay, so the next question was, who is my favorite middle grade author? And I would have to say that Joan Bauer is definitely one of my favorites. Either her or Jennifer A. Nielsen. Both of them. I don't own any Jennifer A. Nielsen books, but as far as Joan Bauer goes, let me move my stuff here for a second. Yeah, I have... See if I can get them out. Since these are close by. These, plus the one that I just mentioned, which is in the other room. I have all of these by Joan Bauer. And I actually haven't read them all yet. There's one more too, but I don't know where it is right now. Oh, there it is. So yeah, there we go. Now I have my whole collection besides that one. So yeah, so I have a ton of Joan Bauer. I mean, obviously one of my favorite authors. So yes, definitely. I have Thwunk, I've read. Might as well go through them. Tell Me, I've read, also really loved. And then the rest I haven't read, which is Sticks. Put those down for a second. Stand Tall. This one sounds really good. Rules of the Road. There's a sequel to that one. I don't know which one it is though. Raising Lumi, which just looks so cute. These are all contemporary, and like honestly never thought I'd be a contemporary fan. Hope Was Here, read it, really enjoyed that one too. And then Almost Home, which has another dog on it. And then Squashed, which just sounds as much fun as the other one, Thwunk. But yeah, so favorite author, definitely Joan Bauer or Jennifer A. Nielsen. They're both really great. I've given both of their books pretty high ratings. So, all right, the next question is, what middle grade book do you think should be required reading in schools? And for that one, I'm going to go with this one right here. This is one of my favorite ones, and I really love it. This is When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jamieson and Omar Mohammed. And this is a nonfiction graphic novel, and Omar Mohammed is it's all about his story and him and his brother who has some kind of learning disability. I don't know if we are really actually said like what his disability is, but I know it's a learning disability. And so his brother kind of relies on him a lot, but they're both in a refugee camp in Africa, and they're kind of just living day to day. They have lost track of their mom during the war, and so this kind old lady at the refugee place is kind of taking care of them, and they're just kind of waiting to find out if they're able to go someplace that's safe, you know, whether it's the US or Canada or just another country that's away from the war. And so during that time, we see Omar, who he gets the opportunity to actually go to school at the refugee camp. And so he's kind of worried about his brother at the same time. But on the other hand, he's really excited that he gets a chance to go to school. And so he ends up going to school, and it's pretty heartbreaking as well, but it's beautifully written. I do love the style of the artwork, and the audiobook is also really, really great too. If you're not into graphic novels, try out the audiobook because it's a full cast of characters as well as sound effects, so it's really great. I'm gonna put you back up here. Hopefully it won't fall. My foot's falling asleep. All right, I was filming another video before this, that's why. All right, what is my favorite middle grade book cover? Honestly, that one, the one that I just mentioned, When Stars Are Scattered. This book cover is stunning. I love it so much. This is probably one of my favorites, and it's the same on the inside, so you can take off the book sleeve if you want and still have that gorgeous cover. So this one would definitely top the charts. This one's more middle or elementary level. I'm still gonna count it because it's one of my favorites, and that is Monster Friends by Katie Van Dorn, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite book covers and one of my favorite books of all time. It is more, as I said, elementary level, low middle grade, but honestly, I'm 30 and still love this, so it's so cute. Absolutely, the artist is the author, so that's great too, but these two are definitely favorites. I did have another one, but I definitely think these two beat out what I had first, so. All right, last question is, what is your favorite middle grade book to screen adaptation? Adaptation. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so this was actually tough for me because like I was gonna mention Nancy Drew, but I really don't like the movies. Like honestly, like have any of you realized that like all of the movie adaptations, Nancy seems like 16 or even younger, like close to 13. I'm like, who is this? Like she's not in high school. It's after high school. Like it's like she's 18. Like all these actors seem way too young to be playing her, and they're not good. I don't like any of them. I do sort of kind of like the Nancy Drew TV show that came out, like I think in the 70s. That one was actually okay, and the actors were definitely about 18 or so, so that one's okay. But I'm actually going to mention the kind of counterpart to Nancy Drew. I'm going to mention Hardy Boys. Now, I've only read like maybe one or two Hardy Boy books. I really should read more because I do like them. But I've also read like the Nancy Drew Hardy Boy Super Mysteries and love those. Those are one of my favorites. So I'm going to mention Hardy Boys because Hardy Boys was a TV show, also back in the 70s. It happened at the same time as the Nancy Drew TV show. And let me tell you, that was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. It was starring Parker Stevenson as Frank, and then Joe was played by Sean Cassidy? Yeah, I think it was Sean Cassidy, who was like a pop singer back in the day. But like, I don't know why. It was fun. It was an adventure show, and it was a blast. And yeah, it was definitely probably one of my favorite film book to movie adaptations. If anything else, I haven't read Anne of Green Gables yet, but I think that would be a new favorite because I do love the movies. I've watched the movies multiple times growing up, and I do love them, especially for some reason the third movie was like my favorite growing up. I don't know why, but just, yeah. Those were some interesting answers to this tag. So I'm going to tag a few people. I'm not going to tag like the people who were first tagged in that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of friends who read a lot of middle grade. I'm going to tag Sam over at the Book Bunch. Who else reads a lot of... I think I'm going to tag Holly over at Lovely Day with Holly. But honestly, if you love middle grade books, I would love if you did the tag and just tagged me so I could watch it, because I'd love to see your answers. So I think those are the only two people that I'm going to tag, because at the moment I just can't think of anybody who reads a ton of middle grade books right now. So yeah, so if you haven't done the tag, just have fun with it and enjoy doing it. Alright, so I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.